Hi. Welcome to the First Aid Outdoors podcast.
And I just can't live without you.
What do you mean? There's fucking 2 kilos in the boat.
Listen to me every time.
Holy fuck. It's true, man.
I can think of one cunt that's
It's true. All the good cunts I grew up with moved away.
Oh, I thought you were talking about yourself.
Oh, you might as well throw me in the mix.
So when are we starting?
It's already started.
Oh.
So you dropped a few C-bombs already.
I didn't mean to. I didn't know we were recording. Proper wine anymore.
Yeah, so the boys just come back through from Cape York. What's that spot?
Spot X.
I think...
It's near Weeper.
Nunya.
Oh, true.
That's where all the red dirt come from. Weeper.
Good trip.
Very good trip. Very good trip. The weather wasn't the best, but yeah,
Stormy.
It was very stormy and
Fuck, you do stink, actually.
yeah.
I didn't realise till just now, eh?
It was, yeah. We were out on the boat a couple of days. It only took 1 or 2 days to start stinking up. And he's into me about smelling like a redhead. It's only because, you know, you get used to your own smell.
Yeah.
Like,
Don't notice it.
pot calling the kettle black, eh, for real.
Ooh.
It's only a 17-foot boat, but we're like both at opposite ends the whole time, just trying to get away from each
You
other.
still smell each other in the opposite way the wind was going. Just wafting up.
Right.
How many days up there? 4.
Nah,
Not enough.
3.
Not enough is the short
Enough,
answer.
yeah. It was, what did we get there? We got there Friday, launched at just before lunch, got over there, set up at lunchtime.
Yep.
Got out for fish. Actually, we got there much earlier than what I thought or anticipated. And then fished Friday afternoon, all day Saturday on the outer. It started with a bit of rain Saturday morning, didn't we?
Yeah, straight up.
Poured
Yep.
in. So we got to know the weather of North Queensland very well, real quick. And
Windy
then,
or just rain?
No, it was just rain on Saturday. It ended up being a glass out,
Yeah.
hot and stinky, you know, literally stinky. Yeah. And then Sunday morning woke up to a hell of a lot of rain. And then a massive storm front come over. It looked one of those, you know, big
Lightning and black.
and just one of those big round clouds
Yeah.
with the mushroomy looking thing on the end of it and black as. But it was coming over, and so it was like where we were going to go for a jig. But then it just disappeared.
Yeah.
Didn't even do anything. But it looked so bad though. But then we fished all day Sunday. Well, Mick was throwing a fly around before the storm hit. Was smoked by a big blue bastard.
Yeah, it was weird because on one side of the horizon was just completely black, like midnight coming, and then on the little sand spit that I was at the end of the island we camped on was like pure. It was like standing in the Bahamas.
Yeah, right.
It was so weird looking one way, thinking you're in the Bahamas, turn around, you're just about it's ridiculous.
And you just camped on the
Swamped
beach
in
or whatever?
blackness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. It was really good. We pushed hard as hell. We left Brizzy early hours of the morning. We pushed as hard as we could the first night.
20 hours to start with.
Yeah, got a couple of hours sleep, then up and at 'em again. Got to the zone to put in. Yeah, like Benny said, a couple of hours early, which was good because it got us out there. And then we were able to set up camp pretty quickly and then ended up the first afternoon, we've been talking about it for ages. We've had this big goal in Australia to land a giant, a big GT on fly.
Yep.
I've seen a few on the flats. Benny's seen a few on the flats, but we've never really been in a position to actually be there to execute it.
Yep.
So we just we took the hooks off some small stick baits and went around the bombies and tried to charge them up and get some shots at it like that. Man, it was the most fun 90 minutes of fishing that I've had, I think, in recent memory. I was giggling like a fucking schoolgirl. I was yelling out like I had a YouTube channel. It was ridiculous, man. It was so fucking fun,
Mick
though.
goes, I'm going to sound like an absolute kook. I said, yeah, but you won't even hear you over the top of me.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I was carrying on like a lunatic.
Oh, man. It was absolutely crazy. We drove past these bombies and it was oil slick conditions pretty much, but the tides were pretty shit.
Yeah.
Like in terms of topwater stuff, like we just
Pretty
jumped
much.
on a weather window,
Yep.
and the tides weren't that great. There wasn't much run in the morning tides, and the afternoon tide was a little bit bigger, but
Yep.
yeah, I think Benny spotted our school of fuses. We were like, yeah, let's go for it. We'll have a crack. First school that we found with the hookless stick bait just started the mayhem. It was
Yeah,
just
right.
pack attack, airborne strikes, fucking.
And hooked the heat.
Yeah, hooked a bunch of them. Like it took a little while to get it right, get the technique right.
Yep.
And they weren't hitting a big white fly. Changed to a black and purple one. First cast,
Bang.
giant.
Yeah, right.
And it absolutely folded me, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I couldn't believe it. It just come in, perfect cast. You could just see its mouth go, and like just took it and then straight down into a bommy. Like I'm trying to get it up, it went, and we had to circle the boat around, let off a bit of tension. It swam out, came up again, and then just ended up just wearing through the leader.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like it sort of like bit off on the loop.
Right.
So yeah, and then that just started it. We hooked probably, what do you reckon, 3 or 4 decent ones.
At least.
Yeah, and then after 90 minutes, I was cooked. Like I was done with it just from casting the 12 weight. So we swapped over. Benny ended up getting a nice little GT, and
What was the smallest one that one that struck out of all of them?
on the 12 weight is like poling in a bass.
Yeah.
But there was some pretty big fish in there, like sort
Yeah.
of 20, 25 kilos, maybe
Look
even
at
bigger.
that sharky mackerel too.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
fly?
How about that?
On
yeah,
fly?
yeah.
On the popper fly.
Random cast too, I think it was, wasn't it? At a
just
bommy.
smoked it. Yeah, didn't tease it in or anything. Just went
Yeah.
woof. That scared the shit out of
Didn't
me.
snip you either.
Pretty good size too, actually.
right.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So that was a good start to the Arvo, and then I think we just bounced back into camp and sweated our ring out for the
Oh,
night.
so hot.
it would have been hot.
It always
Man,
is.
It was
Doesn't it?
crazy.
Swags, eh?
No, we're sleeping in. Just taking little air mattresses up. And,
Like Mozzie Dome or whatever.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that. Mozzie, exactly like those little one-man tents.
Yeah.
You had that talk.
Yep.
Yeah, poor old Mick, I stitched him up. Give him the air mattress, and I had 2 air mattresses in my tent, and all I could hear like during the night was like, shit, and and he's blowing up his air mattress all night. He must have been like he was sleeping on a tally ho. We got to about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, oh, I've got 2 mattresses here. I better spare this. I was like, wait a minute, because that air mattress keep going down. He's like, yeah, it does. And I was like, mate, I've got 2 here. Grab this one.
You can't. Talio probably would have been more comfortable, to be honest. Fuck, it was rough. It was crook.
It's proper rough camping, but you've got to do it. And you just can't carry that much gear out there, like in a 70-foot boat. And when you're carrying fuel and water and all that sort of stuff, I like a bit like a policeman on the gear when you're putting gear in the boat and putting the eye over it, just making sure we're staying as light as possible. Because especially when you get weather turn up.
You got to pack up quick or whatever.
Yeah, and you got to pack up quick. Plus, you just don't want to be carrying too much weight when you get a bit of weather on you.
Yeah.
And it is hard on you too. Like it's physically demanding those kind of trips, but it's good that you keep stuff light and kind of like push yourself a bit and be a bit fucking way out of your comfort zone. Yeah. It's a good thing to do for everyone. Everyone should do that.
At the end of the day, you don't need that much.
You don't need fuck all, and you really appreciate when you come home.
Yeah.
You don't need that much food. Like you sit around in the office all day working, all you want to do is eat all day. But then you go out and do physical activity out in the boat, throwing poppers all day because you're active and you're not thinking about it. Then all of a sudden you get to 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you're fucking starving. Like you.
Well,
but you
haven't
eaten all day.
Yeah, on the second day it was pissing down rain first up. So we had a little feed, bacon, eggs or whatever, waiting for the shower to go. And then as soon as it broke, as soon as the sky broke, we were fucking boat gone. And then we get halfway out to the outer and we're like,
put the esky in.
Fuck, where's our lunch, man?
Fucking no food
Nothing.
today.
So we fucking just survived on Ocean Blend and fucking good vibes, basically, for the whole day. Pretty much.
Extra chewy.
Yeah, it's a chewy, yeah.
Fucking hell.
It was good.
So what was the aim of the trip? Just a general getaway?
Yeah, get away, testing out the braid a bit more and just making sure that's all up to scratch and getting some content on that.
Yeah.
Getting some jigging content, which we've got the jigs coming out in Tackle World very soon, so we want to get some jigging content for those guys.
And we got a lot of casting braid content. We didn't get too much jigging braid content just to show people how good it is.
Yeah.
So it was just more to go out and use our stuff and show, that it all works great,
Yeah.
So
part of the story.
Yeah, it was good. And for me, it was good to get away because this year's been fucking hard. Like it's been a grind, between the different businesses in Australia and the US, it's just been balls to the wall all year. So for me, it was just a fucking fantastic getaway.
Fucking bird. Oh, that cunt.
How do you put it in the forest back there?
I nearly pushed it in the pool the other day. That cage,
you know
the cage
what? Actually,
locked.
I was about to say that pool needs good clean. The parrot might be able to do it for you.
Fuck, I've had enough of it. Noisy cunt. Can't remember where I was going then. Yeah, so trophy
goals for the
catches.
trip.
Trophy catches. or goals for the trip.
Some nice dino trout. They're always cool. It was we went up there knowing that it was the wrong tides, wrong moon phase, but it was just the weather window. We wanted to sort of hold off to this week because it's lead up to the new moon, but obviously the weather's going to turn pretty ugly this week, so we just sort of drop and run, get it done while we can. So the run was pretty ordinary. There wasn't much tidal current up there, but when it did turn, that's when the fish turned on. Like you had like an hour window. Was the last trip I just did with Mick. It was like lead up to the new moon. So pretty much they were just feeding their heads off the whole time. There was like little half-hour rests. Whereas now, while you got these gammon tides, you sort of fish real hard for an hour where you're into them, and then all of a sudden you get a 3 or 4 hour window where you're not getting much and you're working real hard. But we got on some big dino trout. I don't know, just seeing those guys come out in packs of 6 or 7, to attacking your lure, or Mick could have one on and like be fighting, and he'd go, oh, here they come, and there's like 6 or 7 coming up to the lure, trying to eat it out of that fish's mouth, and so I'd just flick over the lure, and one of them would turn off, and he'd come and smack the lure. So those dinos were awesome. What else? We missed some good fish, like between the doggies losing those guys and the mixed blue bastard would have been good to see. I could hear him because I was in the boat tinkering around. He was over on the spit, so I was on the way over to him while he's fighting this fish, and then I just see him bend over and you could see the pain in his face. Like, So we lost that, and we lost a couple of good hump-headed Mary Wrasse.
Yeah.
We got a nice big Chinaman that lit up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, that was a really good fish, actually. Really good photo.
Top water?
Big. No, on the jig. That bent me over.
We did a lot of inshore jigging, on this trip.
Yeah, that was
Shallow stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd never been to those sort of marks, but we're just using the relief shading and then doing some sounding and spotting some new areas.
15 to 20 metres type stuff.
Proper shallow.
Yeah. Good little micro jigging
Yep.
setups. It was really good. Like, between those big GTs on fly that we missed out on, that Wrasse of yours was a fucking good fish, man.
donkey.
That was awesome. But and it was
one as well.
it was kind of, it was a little bit, it wasn't frustrating because we were out there doing it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of, if we had converted like half of the trophy fish that we lost, it would have been like an all-time trip, man. It would have been just crazy.
Yep.
The weather steers you around a lot too, you know. Like it's hard when you only got a small window and then the weather turned. Like even yesterday, we were sort of planning on staying till sort of 4 o'clock in the afternoon and then booting home with hopefully a 15 to 20 knot sou'easter and getting belted a little bit. But we ended up packing up at lunchtime thinking, we're going to go home in 20 knots. This is going to be uncomfortable. And then it ended up being 30 knots with a big storm front coming over. And got absolute. It was a 40K run, like, that turned into 60Ks. Because we were going snaking between waves, and
it was fucking
2 hours,
gross.
Hectic.
It was like proper nautical.
Yep.
Yeah. I haven't had that for a while. I haven't had a good friendly run like that for a while. So just a little wake up call to say, hey, Mother Nature rules this place. It did. It did. It gives us good smoking.
Triggerfish?
Yeah, got a trigger on fly. Hey, yeah.
Run us through that.
That's your
actually,
first Aussie one, huh?
Yeah, first Aussie one on fly for sure. I got one on a stick bait actually. Similar scenario, but this one I saw it. I was walking a flat. I think it was, you dropped me off just after lunch or whatever. And we were going to go, I was just going to go for a quick look, just for some bastards. Looked like a little weed patch. So I just said, just drop us off here and I'll come straight back. Dropped off, walked, and the next minute I hear the fucking outboard start. Oh, Benny's gone. I'm like, I got nothing. I got a fly rod. That's it. No water, no flies, no pliers, nothing.
True.
I was lucky to have shoes actually. But
GoPro.
Yeah, I had a GoPro too that I keep forgetting it's on my head. Oh, fuck. But yeah, so anyway, I went for a walk, saw one bastard, saw a bunch of milkfish on this tiny little flat.
Yep.
And then the other guy that was there with us, Ian, he come down, he was drifting down in his boat, and like Benny had fucking gone from spot to spot to spot, and he was on the horizon by then, so I just called him over and jumped in his boat. And we went for a little look up the top of the thing to drift down again, because he'd seen a couple of bastards, and so I just grabbed the wheel and put us sort of on the edge, and we drifted down, jumped up the front of the boat, and I seen this trigger on top of a little bommy right on the edge of the flat.
Yep.
It was sort of like maybe, I don't know, 5 metres in from the edge of the flat. It was just on this bommy, and you can drop off into the deeper sand channel. And I just spied him. If I could put the cast a couple of metres in front of him, stripped it past, and out he came and just fucking nailed it.
Missed it.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
Would have been cool to see him tailing on the flat and targeting, but it's always good when you can. I mean, it's always good when you can see a fish and cast it and it eats. It's awesome.
Well, there's not many people that I know that have caught them.
I was pretty stoked, man. I
Robbo
was really
was the first one I
stoked.
knew of.
Yeah, and
That
that's
caught
on the
them.
flats, genuine. Like that's so good. Yeah,
So cool when you see them eat.
amazing.
Little mouse and
Yeah.
If you go back and watch Benny's series from that trip with Robbo's, you'll see the drone footage of it eating. It's crazy. Like Lane done a good job of that.
Yeah, that was a good.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I got that, and then but yeah, that bastard, man, that was the one that's going to haunt me for sure the whole time. Like,
Big
I just
too.
couldn't stop thinking about it. Yeah, it was massive, man.
Yep.
Like, I went on that trip with East Coast and Yellow Dog to film, and the fish that Brett got in that film was a really, really big bastard, and this one kind of makes that one look normal.
Yeah,
It
right.
was just ridiculous. And I don't know. I don't even know how I lost it, to be honest. It was just so much water pressure. It nearly spilled me. That's how far it went across the flat. So too much water pressure on the line, maybe. I don't know.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, maybe a bit of impatience on my part as well, possibly. But
Did it take some getting to eat, or was it just
not at all.
one cast?
One cast went to the wrong side of it because it was right on the weed edge. I couldn't quite make out.
Yep.
Water was a little bit cloudy. Didn't quite know which end was the head because it was sitting still.
Yep.
And then when I finally figured out, I pulled the fly up, put it about a metre in front, just came straight over and felt the tick straight away, and
Bang.
game on. Couldn't fucking believe it.
That's rare for those fucking.
Yeah,
things.
in my experience it is too. The first one I caught, the only one I caught was like, maybe half a dozen casts, but on that trip, like the one Brett caught, for example, I was standing on one side of it, he was standing on the other, and we followed it down a flat for about 100 metres, made like 50 casts each at it.
Yeah.
And it finally just turned on and ate.
Fucking thing.
So they're pretty finicky. They're a fucking cool fish, though. I would love to go to those zones again on the same tides, but with clear skies and have a good shot at them. Definitely. Like, we had no electric or anything. It wasn't a flight trip. It was just that we were kind of had to be a bit nimble around the weather.
Yeah. Okay.
Just take your opportunities as they come.
Yep.
So yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Right. Well, I guess people don't know much. Well, they probably do, but not a great deal of like your story, I suppose, with the footy and all that sort of shit too. So you're from. Turn it back a bit. So you're born and raised in Redcliffe.
So born and raised in Redcliffe. Born in 1980, so I'm 40 now.
Fucking
Feel like an old
Jesus.
man. I am an old
41 now.
Almost as old as me.
41.
Born and raised in Redcliffe. Probably around my old man. He's from Gunnedah actually. My father, he came up from New South Wales, come up from Gunnedah to play footy for Redcliffe Dolphins back in the day, back in the mid '70s. Born and bred right just up the road from the Leagues Club in Redcliffe, and lived in a place there for 20 years, and then played all my junior footy through Redcliffe, all my schooling in Redcliffe, and then sort of come to the end of my time there at Reddy, sort of 18, 19, I was starting to play Colts there.
Yep.
I'd been in the Broncos system for a little bit, playing for the Broncos when I was 16 or 17 when the Super League years were around.
Yep.
We had a pretty lucky year there actually in 97 when it first kicked off. I was captain of the under-17 side, and we were travelling around playing, like at 17 we were like rock stars, flying to Townsville and Western Reds and down to Sydney and all that sort of stuff. So we ended up winning the comp when I was 17, but then when I was 17, I got called into the meeting at the end of the year, and my brother came with me as well. He was 15.
Yep.
He was, which is a funny story, he was sort of 14, 15, making schoolboys, all that sort of stuff, Queensland schoolboys, so he got called in as well. I went in with my dad for the first meeting with Wayne Bennett, and he was good. Wayne's, even with his, like 17-year-old kids and stuff like that, he'll tell you whether you're getting signed or not for the next year.
Yeah, righto.
So you go in all nervous to meet Wayne. Wayne basically told me, listen, mate, we don't think you're good enough, so you're getting cut today.
Okay,
So I got cut. Then my brother walks in. He's a Queensland schoolboy at the time, 14, 15-year-old. Right, mate, we think you're really good. He gets signed up on the same day. So I go home driving the car. I'm in the front seat, heads down, nearly crying. Brother's in the back seat with the biggest smile on his face. So just went signed with the
Which
bomb,
brother?
So I get cut. Daniel.
Oh, it was Daniel, yeah.
Yes. So anyway, long story short,
Thought it might have been Terry.
I got Terry. So anyway, I go back to Redcliffe, played 18, 19s, and then win the Colts at Redcliffe. Was playing all right footy, but wasn't getting picked up by anyone. So I did a video highlights, like reeling on VHS.
Yeah.
And sent to 6 clubs. I think I sent to Manly, Parramatta, Penrith, Bulldogs, Cronulla, and someone else. Sent this highlights tape to them. Spoke to them, rang around, and Penrith said, hey, we'll give you a trial. Come down for a couple of months, do the pre-season, have a couple of trial games, and then see how you go. So I thought, bugger it, why not? I wanted to change, so I drove down, packed all the gear, drove down to Penrith. They put me up in a place and found a bit of work out on a bar out at Windsor, I think, out of Penrith.
Yep.
And then ended up playing Jersey Flegg down there to start with, played a few games, played really well, then went straight to reserve grade, so I was sort of 19, 20 playing reserve grade.
Yep.
Played in the grand final that year in reserve grade in 2000, but for the next sort of 3 years in Penrith, I just couldn't step up to first grade. I got one first grade trial before the season started in 2001, but then just wasn't good enough. Same thing there, got told I wasn't good enough, got cut, sent home. Just thought I'll get a job at home, bought a beer truck at home. It's the best thing from a footy.
Beer truck.
Yeah, because I was working in an office back in Penrith and I was doing property management there, and it was just not good for my footy career.
Yep.
It was, you're just sitting around, like it's hats off to those tradies and those sort of things out there, because you can really tell they get that natural fitness from being out in the
lifting
always
on your feet.
Sun, out your feet, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So got a beer truck, up early, and mental toughness wise too, right? You're up at 3:30 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, up, getting all your stuff on the beer truck and then doing your run all day. So just worked on my game, played Queensland Cup back at Redcliffe. We won a grand final in 2003. It was one of the best days of my life. We had all 3 grades and we won all 3 grades. I had Terry, my youngest brother, he was playing Colts that day. My middle brother had a broken jaw, but he was playing reserve grade that year.
Yep.
And I was playing first grade, and Dad was treasurer of the Leagues Club. So sort of a really big family thing. We had 10,000 at the Dolphins before they had all the stadium there now. It was just on the hills, 10,000 with all 3 grades winning the comp, the QRL comp. It was an amazing day. And then 2004, was playing good footy, but we weren't going that well as a team. And I was sort of coming towards the end of that year, and I was like, you know what? And I'd played Queensland residents, I'd played reserve grade at sort of, in the Sydney clubs. I was sort of getting to the end of that sort of year of 2004. I'd won a comp with Redcliffe, and I'd done everything but played first grade at NRL level. And I was like, I've had my shot. I was 24-year-old.
Yep.
Sort of, I think it's going to be all over. So I was going to pull the pin at the end of 2004. I was starting to plan on retiring and, just finishing up. And then midway through 2004, I got a phone call from Matty Ellett, the head coach of the Canberra Raiders, and he said, mate, you want to have another shot down here at the NRL? And I said, righto. And they threw me, I think, 30 grand a year plus match payments.
Fucking hell.
And I was on, all right money with the beer, having the beer truck. Probably triple that. And, you had to throw it all in to then go and set up down there and take a chance down there. As I said, come down to a pre-season and have another go. And I said no to start with. And then I remember Dad said to me, mate, you're never going to have another crack at this ever in your life. So, make sure you make a good decision. Yep. And so we ended up saying yes. And I went down there and played another year of reserve grade 2005. Yep. And then, and I thought it was never going to happen. And then 2006, got my first grade game. Got the call. Had a really good pre-season 2005, 2006. And then 2006, round 1 versus Manly, at Manly. Like a pretty well packed house at Manly.
Yep.
And got my first shot, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. Just running out on the field and having the crowd just roaring at you like the Manly crowd they're disgraceful, to say the least.
True.
Basically spitting at you while you're running out the tunnel.
Yeah, right.
And then I was lining up against a bloke by the name of Ben Kennedy. He'd played for Australia, played State of Origin. He was, a legend of the game, and I was, marking up as I wasn't a young kid really. I was 25 at that stage.
Yep.
And looking up, and I was just thinking, it's finally happened. It's actually happened. I remember tears welling up just before the kickoff. Just, this is about to happen. And then basically, you're running down with the ball up in the air and you're just thinking, I'm going to fucking kill this next cunt. And I'm not, I don't think people that aren't in the footy game, people watch footy, and if they might even play schoolboys, but when you get to a certain level of Queensland Cup and even NRL and that sort of thing, and again, I'm not an angry man. I'm not what? Yeah, but I'm not I wouldn't say I'm an aggressive man or anything like that. Especially when it comes to footy, like I'm not a fighter or anything like that. But when it comes to footy, I don't think people understand what the mentality of footy is. Like they sit and watch it and all that sort of stuff. But I don't think people really understand what it's actually like in the sheds until you're there. Like,
especially playing like high level footy too, it's different again.
All you're thinking in the back of your mind is you want to fucking hurt that person.
Yeah.
Like it's a disgrace really. Like you're out there to fucking knock his head off or just try and get some way, especially in the forwards a bit. You're trying to, and again, I wasn't an aggressive player. I wasn't a killer by any means. I wasn't a Mick Crocker or something like Mick Crocker. Took things to another level, but it was you're in the sheds before the game, and you really are thinking. And it wasn't until I actually finished my career, and like 5 years after or something, like I sat back and I thought, and I'm watching games and I'm like, fucking, how did I actually? That's not actually me. That's not my personality out the field. But you actually turn yourself into. You're not a killer, but you want to fucking maim those people.
Yeah,
and you want to put them off their game somehow, and it's probably why I didn't really go to that next level, because I didn't have that real burning desire to. It was a desire enough to get to NRL, but to stay in NRL, that's why I have a real respect for blokes that are in there for like 200, 300 games, or even 100 plus games.
Yeah.
That burning desire that must be in someone's head to fucking kill someone every time they walk on the paddock.
Yeah.
And the other blokes like, Jonathan Thurston, those sort of blokes, they're just full of skill and talent and hard work and that sort of stuff. But there's other blokes that they just want to kill blokes.
Yeah.
They're out in the field, they want to kill. It's like boxing or fighting, all that sort of thing.
Yep.
It's just the mentality of wanting to kill other people.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, it's a bit of a yarn.
Fucking know.
I went off to somewhere else.
Memorable games?
The first game, definitely a memorable game. I think my third game in, that first game we won that night at Manly, which was a bit of an upset because we had 3 blokes debuting, and I was one of them. We got flogged by the Roosters the next week, and then the week after that, I think it was third round in, we played against Newcastle at home.
Yep.
Andrew Johns was playing, one of the best players to ever play the game, and I always rated him. I knew, he was a good player, and it wasn't until that game that I thought, this bloke is an absolute freak. They put 72 points on us. It was 72-38 the scoreline, like a disgraceful shot. But he put on an absolute show. He had that ball on an absolute. He could hit a dime on a football field, and the ball would bounce up and bounce back over one of our Raiders' heads into one of the Newcastle blokes, and they'd score. Like, it was just freakish show. And I sat back and I thought, this guy is a freak. It was weird, because I can still remember running out and. We were attacking their line, and Johns was on my side, so he was 3 in and I'm a back rower, and he's half, so my job is to get at his inside shoulder and run at him as hard as I could. And I can still remember, I've got Jonesy, and I'm thinking to myself, this is Andrew John saying my name out in the field. Like, I was overawed by it.
Yeah.
And I always felt like it when I was on the field that
Yeah, right.
I didn't belong in first grade. It was a weird thing.
Like you were recognised.
No, well, I did. I'd play real good in reserve grade, like I'd be one of the better players, and then I'd go up to first grade, and I didn't feel like in reserve grade I felt so confident. I felt like I could kill the world in reserve grade.
Yeah.
Got up to first grade, and I just felt like a little kid.
Yeah.
It was weird. I just couldn't get over that hump in there. Right, it was weird.
Isn't it weird how every level you go up in sport, the game gets so much quicker?
Yeah, quick.
Yeah.
So much quicker, and the good players make it seem so fucking slow all around them.
Yep.
And the good players actually, they can be ordinary in reserve grade, but then they go up to first
upper
grade,
level,
and it makes it easier for them. It's got better players around them. But some people, it's just a mental thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and it's in every sport.
I was about to say,
that.
especially
every
contact
sport.
sports. And,
It's
or
a
like,
mental barrier.
Yeah, fucking oath.
Anything with skill in it, and heaps of moving parts. Like the really good players just make it look slow.
Team sport adds a whole nother dynamic too, I reckon. Like team sport's way different to fighting, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I both play a lot of footy, not high level, but like a fair bit of representative footy.
Yeah.
And fighting's different because at the end of the day, you're the only one there. But then team, whole different dynamic.
Yep. Yeah, it's different. I didn't really play any individual sports, I suppose, and it was always sort of team sports, cricket. I suppose tennis was about the only thing I played when I was at school, but definitely a different dynamic, I think.
Yep.
You sort of got to work along with people and stuff like that, whereas I think with individual sports especially, you've got to be very, very disciplined, don't you? Really,
I think so. Because then your coaches can only do so much.
Yeah.
When it's fight day, then it's all on you then. Yeah.
But even in team sports, like discipline comes into it a lot too, with like everyone knowing their role and sticking to their role.
Yeah, well, you're
That's
worried
what
about letting
separates
someone
really
down,
good. Yeah, really good teams get separated by that too, because when you work as a unit and everyone knows their role inside out and they all stick to it, then it becomes bigger than it. Like we always used to say it in football or cricket, like a great team will always beat a team of great players.
Yeah,
there's that discipline. And
well, I had
going
those
in the same direction.
SAFA rugby players with me for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And that's one thing Quokka said was like, you don't have to like the bloke next to you to play well with him.
Yeah.
It becomes in like knowing to do your job for the benefit of the whole team.
As a unit,
all the personal shit.
I think a good coach the best coaches get that out of players somehow.
Yeah.
And they, like Mick said, it's knowing your role in the team and be able to, and that's what Craig Bellamy obviously does so well. He makes sure, and any of the guys that I talk to from the Storm, they say, anyone that I speak to that's been in that Storm system say that the best thing that they get out of it is they know their exact role. When they step on that football field, they know exactly what their role is in the team.
Yep.
And what position they're doing. So.
Yeah. So where did fishing come into all this?
I think that was ingrained in me as a young fellow. I can still remember when I was young in Redcliffe, Dad taking me in the old, so it was a 14-foot or 15-foot half cab Savage with a Mercury on the back, and he reckons there was a Merc on the back that I remember he used to pull start, and sometimes they'd have to shot like a bit of fuel. I don't know how long, but I'm hopeless at mechanics. But he used to shot a little bit of petrol into the
carbon.
Whatever it is, and then pull the thing.
Yep.
And I can still, he reckons he got rid of that motor somewhere in 1982 or 1983, so I would have been 2 or 3 year old, and I can still remember it to this day. I can still remember the two-stroke, the two-stroke fumes coming off it in the mornings. So he'd launch out the front of Redcliffe. We'd go and fish a spot called Pole's Hole, which is just 500 metres off the shore of Redcliffe, fishing for snapper. With his good mate Bunny Pearce, who tragically died actually, but I can still remember that as a young fella. Then going out in the bay catching spotties with Spider.
Oh yeah,
Spider was one of my dad's best mates, who's still getting around. He come on a couple of Cape trips, or come on one particular Cape trip with us. He's got a real rusky voice. He thinks he's 18, and he's still he'd be nearly 60. Yeah. He smokes darts and drinks piss like the best of them.
Yes.
Loves a good time and. Just a terrific fellow. And I still remember going, I must have been 4 or 5 year old and chasing spotties in the bay, and I'd always want to go, like if Dad didn't take me and he'd go with his mates, I'd be out on the corner of the main road in Redcliffe crying at 5:30 in the morning. One time an actual car pulled up, grabbed me and took me up, knocked on the window at Mum and Dad's house and said, "You've got a 5-year-old out the front of you crying his eyes out." Mum was in bed, and she'd come out, "Oh, you right, mate? What's going on?" "Dad went without me." So I'd hate it if Dad went without me. Even in the word, and then what would happen is we'd go out chasing mackerel in the bay, and obviously it'd blow up or something like that, and it might only be 15 knots, and they were used to it, but I was 5-year-old, right, and we're banging around the boat, and I'd be crying my eyes out, "I want to go in." "You wanted to fucking come out here. Get up here underneath." Sorry, Dad. But, and he says I'm too hard on my son. So like, oh, but jeez. Yeah, so like, chasing spotty mackerel, and he'd be using like a Snyder glass 12 foot with Alvy reel, throwing full pillies in the mackerel chopping around the boat. You'd get 20 spotties. These days you'd be lucky to get 2 mackerel on spinning. On an electric motor. But those were the days. That was how I sort of got brought up, and we went camping at Bribey, and we just pitch the tent. You might have a sleeping bag and you might have a pillow, and that was it. We sort of roughed it and just grew up around that sort of. Yeah, just getting out amongst the elements and loving it.
Yep.
Then pushed right through. I was always passionate about my fishing. That's probably one thing that probably interfered with my footy while I was playing. I always had to get it. It was a good escape too, though. It was because footy's pretty intense. Just the love of fishing and being in the outdoors and pushing hard. I just always loved pushing myself. So sort of doing the trip we just did, I love those sort of things because it gets you out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
I always harp on about getting out of your comfort zone, and that's when you get the best rewards. Even if you have near-death experiences, sometimes you look back on things and sort of reflect on how things should have went and would have went. And
like back in the Chorn series.
Yeah, back in the Chorn series. Setting off EPIRBs and all that sort of shit, or not setting off EPIRBs when you should set off EPIRBs. Those sort of things. So I think build character, and I think it's good to try and get your young kids out and enjoy those things, because that way they, when they get older as well, they can enjoy it.
Yep. What got you into GTs and shit? You always chase them?
Oh, probably since my big boat, going back to Penrith days, back in when I was sort of early 20s, we started doing trips out to Swains Reef. It sort of always wanted to sort of do fishing trips, and it started sort of straight after school. Took off up here, but we didn't really start targeting GTs until about 2001 or 2002.
Yep.
And I mean, it was really gammon gear. Like, we were using Akuma Epexes with 30-pound braid on, and throwing these little pencil poppers that we'd bought from Kmart. You'd get double packs. They must have been $10 then, and we thought they were expensive back then. That we were taking those along with us on those Swains trips, and they were like, we'd be on the boat with 12 blokes, and they're all trying to fill the eskies and get a year's worth of fillets, or red throats and that sort of stuff. But Robbo and I'd go out and just try and sling poppers around and stuff like that to try and catch as many top water fish as we can. Yep. So it sort of started then, and then we got over those Swains trips, because it was a bit of a sleigh fest, and we just wanted to do our own thing and started going up the Cape on our own trips, and that's where we really started to want to target, GTs. We'd go and find the shoals and fusies and...
Yeah. Started figuring it all out.
Yeah, figuring all that sort of stuff out, and then I think it would have been now probably 7-8 years ago, I met Mick, and through sort of cast and the love of top water fishing sort of really started to grow around home. It was, I think we started going out with a bloke called Fleety. He'd just come back from Oman, and I'd already, probably 2 years before that, I'd taken out a client just trolling for wahoo, and I'd got a big GT, like a big one, like when I say big, it might have been 30, 35 kilo, trolling a Halco Laser Pro with red head, white body. And we had this thing scream off, and we landed. It was a massive, massive GT, and that sort of stuck in the back of my mind. It was like, maybe there's more than just one GT out of this place.
Yeah.
We've been smoked a few times by things. And then we went out one day we went out, we decided, me, Mick and Fleety went out off Moreton one day, and we just thought, we're just throwing top water, that's it today.
Yep.
That's it. Smashed the living daylights out of yellowtail kingfish, just small ones, rats and a few yellowfin and stuff. And then I got hit by that big GT, left the hole in the water. Like, I think that was a GT, but I wasn't sure, wasn't confident. And then Fleety got railed by a big GT and landed. It might have been a 20, 25 kilo fish.
Yep.
I'm like, these guys
They're
here.
here.
And then we just started going twice a week and just
Yeah.
started honing skills.
Twice a week, then 3 times a week. And like, I remember working, where was I working at the time? I think I was working for Golding, maybe down the Gold Coast or the airport, can't remember. But I'd get home from work, Benny get home from work, we'd be like, weather's good tonight, fucking camping out there or whatever. We'd grab the gear, we'd launch, send it across the bay, go fish, the sundown bite into the night, camp up in the boat, or either have a rest out in the boat or just pop till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, then send it back across the bay, go to bed, get up, go to work, come back maybe a day or two's rest, go and hit it again.
Yep.
We went so hard for probably 12 months at least. Hey, I remember having a calendar with each day, like where we went. I had it all color coded.
Yep.
With like raising GTs or no GTs.
Yep.
Fucking heaps. Caught heaps of GTs. Like we had the most insane night. I think it was the first night we took the bonito out too. Before that, in winter, it was like July or something. We went out, we were out there popping in beanies
June
at like
1.
fucking 11 o'clock at night.
My next question was the whole night thing. What was the reasoning behind that?
Less boat traffic, and also just that's when we were free. We were both working heaps, and when the weather's good on a Thursday night, but it's shit on the weekend, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
We were just that driven to try and put as many GTs on the boat as possible.
Yeah.
But it seems like a lifetime ago now. But it was really only 5 years ago, probably 6 years ago when we really did it.
Early on in the whole cast.
Yeah. Oh, definitely early on in that, yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of journey really led to the whole like goal series.
Yep.
Because we were just chasing that fucking one fish relentlessly.
Yep.
It was just, I don't know, that was a good time, man. It was fun. It was fun as hell. Yeah.
Yep. Now it's fucking huge down there.
It's like anything on social media, I think when it looks fun and it's achievable, most people will get into it, you know, like at the end of the day, that's what our business is built on too, you know, making it achievable for people and showing people how fun it is.
Yep.
That you can go and do it yourself and have the time of your life.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love seeing that now. Like I see there's heaps of young fellas that have messaged through, and older fellas that have messaged through and like, hey man, I got my first SEQ GT or got my first Brizzy banger, how good, rah, rah. I was like, yeah man, that's really cool.
Yeah. It's fucking humbling when you get messages like from people. I get them now and then from young kids for stuff, and fucking I'm pretty new to the social media scene. It's fucking pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I just think I look at it from like the other side of the fence too. Like I look at people, because I just love fly fishing now, as you know.
Yeah.
I look at people like Captain Jack and those kind of guys and think, fuck, that's amazing. I want to do that. And it inspires me to learn more about it, buy a little bit of gear, you know, go and push myself to different areas and target different species and stuff like that. So there's no reason why. Yeah, exactly. Like there's no reason why, even bow hunting, that's why I got into it, just watching other people.
Yeah.
So there's no reason why, you know, it's not a bad thing. The only thing that gets a bit of stench around it is like blowing up spots and stuff, which like we spoke about heaps on the last podcast. But
Every podcast.
I mean, it just exacerbates what goes on anyway. Like you go down to the boat ramp or whatever and you'll hear blokes talk about where they were fishing.
Yeah.
It's just that it's a boat ramp on a bigger platform now. You just got to be a little bit more respectful about it, I guess. But each to their own, man. You can't tell another grown man what to do.
Sort of hard. Any cunt that's half clued on will figure it out eventually.
Of course,
too.
yeah, that's it. And the other thing is too, you can tell people a general area. You still got to go fucking do it.
Yeah.
Oh, you can tell them where, when, and how.
Yeah.
It still doesn't happen for them. So
Yeah.
But people have to know that boat ramp
Yeah.
to know where it is anyway. Like, if you don't know the boat ramp, you're not going to know where the fuck
Yeah,
it is.
well, you could even, like, you look at the size of the reef system out on the Great Barrier Reef. You could say, go to reef XYZ on the running tide. It's fucking 10 kilometres long. Good luck. Go and do it.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, right. So you, Benny, you like still are you pursuing the YouTube thing now?
Yeah, still pumping along with it. It's difficult, I must admit. It's I thought it would have got a bit more traction than what it did, but then when I look at it in the whole scheme of things, I've got memories up there for life, you know. And it sort of forces you to film everything, and you know, there'll come a day when I can't go and do those trips, but I can watch them still, or my young fella can watch it, or even just the general person can go and watch those things and get a bit of a thrill out of it. So, you know, I like actually doing it. I like sitting down, running through all the footage, cutting out all the swear words now because I know YouTube doesn't like that. And when I watch it back now, actually, on the old stuff that I've put up and it's got all the swearing, and I sort of cringe at it. I'm like, do I actually sound like that when I'm swearing? I try and cut my swearing back, which I'm trying to do.
Do they demonetize it or something? Or
well, apparently they do, and that's maybe why. I spoke to a guy in America who's massive over in America with YouTube, and he said, man, that was one of the first things. He said, don't put music to it, don't swear. That were the two things, and I've put both of those in. So I really didn't take his advice really well, but I should have. But yeah, I think they can, or they don't push it as hard. There's other guys that are doing well out of YouTube that have still got a bit of swearing in it, so I don't think it's a be-all and end-all, but I don't think it helps. It definitely doesn't help. And you sound like a bit of a kook anyway, and I know I sound like a kook sometimes, but that's just me, so I don't mind it.
Yep. I think one thing you do really well about it is just be yourself in those films, because it's no different fishing with you than actually listening to you on your videos.
Yeah, so I sound like a fuckwit, and then being around you, I am a fuckwit.
Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, it is what it is, man.
At least you can have an opinion you've actually met me before.
You comment a fair bit.
Oh, I do. There went a stage there, like it went ages where I suppose we're
Fuck this bird, man.
It's getting to you. Oh, it wasn't getting to me until you actually said it again.
Hell. Listen to the I'm going to go home.
Bring us now.
Dead.
Yeah, look, it was like the first, when the social started building, there was a stage where I'd never ever had any hated or didn't ever see anything, and then a couple of dudes started hating, and I was like, this is weird. You've never even met me before, but you're hating me. Fancy having an opinion of me, you haven't met me before. Like that's.
I thought about that one. One bloke, like, was that last year or the start of this year?
Oh, yeah, he just kept serving them up. I should
remember that. Yeah.
See, most, so, look, a decent person probably would just laugh that off and just go, but sometimes one will just bite me and I'll just want to fucking fight him.
But I'm not an angry man.
No, I'm not angry.
I'm not aggressive whatsoever.
Like, surely he wasn't serious. Like, he was proper.
He was proper serious.
Was he?
Yeah.
He's a lunatic then. Because I thought he was just like winding you up, like deliberately.
Psychopath. He kept chasing me down though. Like he'd go to my YouTube and then he'd report something on my YouTube.
He wanted
what's
to
going
oust
on
you.
in your life?
Imagine sitting in the basement of your mum's house, licking the fucking twisties off your fingers, typing shit on fucking busted YouTube.
He was loving it too.
But even some so-called decent blokes have a little shot. I'm like, mate, what are you fucking doing that, you fuckwit? Backhanding them, mate. What are you doing like that?
Yeah, sort of hard to, because then you go and do it, and then you become the bad guy out of it.
Yeah, I know, that's right. Like, and I've had blokes recently just sort of messaging through trying to find spots and stuff like that, and then but they already know the spot.
Yeah.
But then they're like they know it, and then they're trying to get more stuff out of you, but they're trying to make you look like a dick while they're doing it. And then you go, mate, look, just fucking go and have fun and go and chase the fish and blah, blah, blah. And then you look like a fucking idiot. But hang on, you're the bloke that was messaging me, or not me, but I'm good enough to actually take time out of my day to actually message you back and be nice to you. And now you want to be a fuckwit to me? Fucking get the ball in your arms, cunt, and run straight.
But only if you run it straight.
the Manly jersey on.
Do you ever just block them and couldn't be bothered with one?
Not really. Like I was like at the end of the day, I was like. Well, sometimes I'll have a bit of fun with them. And like that bloke, I had a bit of fun with him, and then I started getting shit. So I actually turned myself into a Anyway, that's the social space. You got to get your head around that. Like, and most times, often not. You know, it's just getting your head around. There's going to be people
sort
like
of
that.
It doesn't you put yourself in the situation.
It doesn't matter where you're at, whether you're in the workforce, whether you're fucking out on a sporting field. There's always going to be a fuckwit around. And the worst thing is, as a psychology, as a person, it doesn't matter who you are. You'll get all this good stuff coming at you, whether you're working really well or you're doing something really well in your life, and you'll have all the good stuff, and it takes one fuckwit, and you'll have 1,000 that's really good.
Green light for all the fuckwits.
So you'll have
It gets to him.
1,000 good things coming at you, which is good, and then just one fuckwit. The human psychology, you'll concentrate on that one thing. It's like
attracted to negativity, eh?
It's like a day job. I'm a day job I'm a financial advisor, which is boring, I know. But it's the funny thing is, like sometimes you'll do really well for a client. You'll see their portfolio of investment go right up And they're like, yep, that's cool. The minute it turns and goes down $1, they'll be on the blower to you. What the fuck is going on? Like, hold on, can't you remember all that stuff with the upside? And you just want one little bit of downside and they don't like it. Like, it's just the mindset of anyone, I suppose. It's hard to get yourself over that fucking hump of, all right, just concentrate on all the positivity and not the fuckwit.
Because it's easier to be negative.
Yeah. And you're always going to get that too, because like, I know we spent, especially you spend a lot of time making sure you get back to everyone who messages you.
100%. So
whether it's good or bad, and you don't even know they're going to be a fuckwit at the start. Sometimes it's like, you know.
He never replies to me when I'm being a fuckwit.
I always reply. That's one thing I've always concentrated on. It's getting very hard to do it across so many platforms. You know, you got TikTok, you got YouTube, you got Facebook.
Are you on TikTok too?
I'm on TikTok too, yeah.
TikTok.
It's not a real, decent account, but it's really tough. You got to try and, like, I try and get back to every single message, and then you have a look at on the comments section. I try to get back to every single comment, and it's been really hard lately because of time constraints of getting back to even the comments. But every single person that messages me on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, I try and get back to as soon as possible. And I think, at the end of the day, it's just taking the time to answer questions to people that are interested in what you're doing. It's, and I think most people appreciate that. Some people don't even say thanks. That's the fuckwits.
Do you think there's an obligation to do that with the following that?
No, I don't reckon. I don't know. There's not an obligation. Some people, I know certain people that have a big account on their social media, they don't get back to everyone, and that's cool too. Like people live busy lives, and there's probably better things in their lives and more important things in their lives to do, and there's definitely there's family, there's friends, and there's all that sort of shit, the real stuff in life. There's all that. But I think, just as a human, as a good human, is trying to get back to people, and if they're taking interest in what you do, I think it's a good thing to do. But if you don't, that's fine as well. I've messaged people on Instagram, other sporting stars, and not got an answer back, and I write actually in the message, and it was sort of about netball, which is totally different from my daughter. Trying to get a bit of an angle in, trying to use my sort of angle, but and I didn't get a message back, but I said in the message, I understand you're living a busy life, and if you don't get back to me, don't feel obliged to get back. I'm sure you've probably seen the message, but it's fine too. I don't take offence to that. I don't know what it's like, but. I think it's a good thing to get back, especially young guys that are asking questions, that are feeling around the.
Starting to get into it.
Yeah, whether they're just getting into the fishing, or whether they're getting in top water, or whether they're doing adventures, or just that sort of makes me more inspired to do more stuff and push harder. That bird is starting to get relentless.
Yeah. Hang on, I need to piss anyway. Right, we're back.
From where?
I just had to go give that bird a drink.
Imagine if you're a squawk now, but it has like a gurgle to it. Blowing bubbles out there.
Hopefully it'll be quiet till it dries out. Fucking I tell you. Yeah. Oh dear, can't remember where we got to.
You're talking about getting back to messages and all that sort of stuff. I was going to say, like, for me, I do it because it's a big part of our business. A lot of the DMs that I get is all about stock and products and stuff like that. But even like before Benny became part owner in Cast, which I don't know if everyone knows that, to be honest, because I still see a lot of comments on Facebook and stuff when people are asking about Cast. I still see that, GT Buster was wearing their shirts the other day. He might know something. So I don't know, I don't think too many people know that.
People probably don't even know Benny's real name.
They probably don't. Buster. Hey, Buster. Yeah. But, like, it's good for business for me to get back to people's DMs and stuff, and I've met some great people along the way. Like, all of you guys came through the DMs.
I flicked the Cast message a DM, like, back 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, way back. But Benny's always been like that ever since I met you, taking everyone fishing with you, like always, you've never been precious about any of that.
Yeah, socials have been good for meeting people. Like 99.9% of people I've gone fishing with. I reckon since I've been on the socials, I don't know, what it was, 7-8 years or something like that on Instagram. I reckon I've fished with 50, at least more than 50 separate people, like new people that I've never met before or would have never met in my life.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's led to new example Sudan last year. Like that was just was a chance meeting through John B. Talking on Instagram with him. Didn't ages ago. Didn't even realise he was following, and I sort of followed back, and then sort of just got on the chat with him, and then knew he was coming out, and sort of set up a run up along the coastline of Queensland. And he had a ripper trip, so then he sort of repaid the favour back by getting us over Sudan. That was just an experience. I look back on that now, and probably didn't realise at the time how good an experience that was. You sort of get back from a trip and you're like, oh yeah, that'd be awesome to do again. It'll never fucking happen again in our
probably
lifetime.
Won't, not now. I remember too setting that trip up because you'd just come back from basically the trip we just did with Tyson for the first time, and you were like high on fucking life. Like, I don't have to catch another fish in my entire life. I'm fucking done. And I go, hey man, we're going to Africa. Are you in? Because you were going to come.
I was coming if you bailed.
He goes, I'd message him. I go, you in? And he goes, oh man, I'm like, at the start you said you're 90% out.
Yeah, 90% out.
90% out, 10% in. I'm like, man, this is going to be an experience of a lifetime. Forget the business. This is going to be fucking epic.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, fucking 51% in, 49% out, but basically out. I was like, all right, Wade's coming if you don't.
I'm in.
That's what I felt like happened.
That's no lie. That's exactly what happened.
Remember we had the other trip set up as well. Remember we were supposed to be going in that comp with Flynn.
Yeah, that's right. We were supposed to go to that.
That was at the same time.
The one that the Wombat Boys won.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was
So
at the same time. We had to make a... No, that was when we went to America.
Was it?
Yeah, because we had to make a decision whether we go to ICAST and do that American tour around Florida. No, it was America, definitely. Because it was going to be epic for our business.
I think you were going to get a handful
America.
of us to fish it for you because you were away.
Yeah. Initially it was me, Benny and Flynn. And then Flynn didn't have enough notice. And we had to decide between going to America or there. And for our business, we thought, we might win a few US dollars over there if we go well, but over there in America, that's going to set our business up long term. So we made that decision. Then we tried, I think, Tyson, you, Albedo and Triggy, I think, maybe in the mix.
I think so.
And then it just sort of fell apart. And then, Brooksy and Fez and that got in there, got into it and got the win, which was good. So, happy days.
Yeah, fuck
that would have been a cool experience for sure.
Yeah, that looked wicked too.
But then the next year we went to Africa.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. And then it was, that was a great trip, man.
I remember we went over and
what an experience.
That was when it was just starting to break out with COVID.
Yeah.
And we all think it's normal now for people to wear wearing face masks. We were like walking in there, I'm like, I'm not wearing a fucking face mask in the airport.
Yeah.
It was like probably 20 or 30% when we were leaving Australia. And then we sort of jetted into Dubai. And then probably, I don't know, 30 or 40% people had masks on then. Went and did the trip. 12 days out the boat. I remember we got off the tarmac, went to this dingiest little airport thing you ever seen. It was like a cement block.
In Port Sudan.
Yeah. Went into the conveyor belt where you collect. It was the darkest little room. It had like a really dull light in there, and all of a sudden the doors open up, and this big, like 6.5 foot Sudanese bloke comes in a white doctor's outfit with a mask on, looking at us with a temperature,
the temperature thing. Yeah.
It's like
and he's coming towards you. Pointed to your head. It's like, just look straight. This is going to kill us. And then they took the passports off us.
Oh, man, that's the crookest bit. Yeah. Well, you get into the airport, right, and how's this for a setup? You walk in, it's got them, like the old footy club or old cricket club, you got them bright yellow fluoro lights.
Yeah,
that's what it was. A room full of them, you walk in, there's these dudes standing behind the counter.
Ushered into one little room.
Yeah, you send in this room. Everyone, all right, get your passports out, blah, blah. And we'd been warned about this, that they take your passports and they send them to the capital to get stamped and they send them back out to Port Sudan. So we're out at sea with no passport. Right.
So what happens then if you get deported, if you get pulled up by border protection?
We're all taking photos on the phones.
Right. Sort of risking it for the biscuit, but... Getting a bit off track, they've been doing scuba trips there for 25 years. Like that's what they do. But anyway, you get there under the yellow lights. You're giving your passport. You're expecting them to stamp it and bring it back. Then you remember, fuck, they take them.
Oh, fuck, okay. And then you put your bag on this little conveyor belt and it goes through a little fucking metal frame. It's like, it's an x-ray, but it doesn't x-ray jack shit. You put it on one side, you take 2 steps and grab it again. There's no x-ray whatsoever.
Just ticking boxes off.
Yeah, ticking boxes. And then we jump on this bus. All the luggage is up on the top and fucking driving down the highway. People got goats strapped to the top of their roof and all sorts of shit. It's proper third world, eh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Real eye-opening experience.
Fishing was fucking epic too, but it looks
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Cool.
Fantastic.
We got some wild weather and everything, but it was just cool to see.
Yeah.
You look at the Red Sea on a map and you think, like, for home, it's like from Redcliffe across the Moreton, you think, like, it's that distance, you only think it's like 20 k's wide, but when you actually get there and get on the boat and cruise out, it's like an open ocean. You can't see land once you're way out.
Yeah.
And then you get to these reefs that are like just as good, if not better, than the Great Barrier Reef, like 1,000 metres up into reef platforms. And the only thing that was disappointing was when you get off on those coral cays, and they're big coral cays, like big sand islands that are maybe a couple of k's in radius. And you get off them then and walk around, and every bit of that, like it was proper something you'd see. And, just something you'd see on TV, and you're like, that only happens just over there. But it was like a proper eye opener. It was water bottles the whole way around these islands, and light globes and bumper bars and hard hats and soccer balls. It's like they just pull the tipper truck up and just tip all the rubbish in the ocean, just let it go.
Yep.
So that was a bit sad, but I mean the fish life there was unbelievable. You know, top water doggies and jigging doggies and
it was world class.
Yeah,
we didn't have the best pelagic fishing, but the flats were on fire.
Triggers at
on
stages.
fire.
That looked unreal, man. Like, wonder what, like, there's so many triggers up in this, like that one that you hooked that's on video. It's like in fucking 2 inches of water, like flopping around. When does that ever fucking?
It's
was it on head cam, was it?
Good fella hanging off the camera.
It's probably one of the best ever casts produced, I reckon.
Probably is, eh?
The focus was very good.
It's fucking
especially when there was a bit of a panic when you just throw one trigger up and you
just
pick up the line and go the other. Just go another. There's another one.
That was like my second cast incident.
It's
so weird, man.
One trigger and then this one.
Fucking hell.
And then we were taking photos of it, and Nicola goes, "Oh, there's another one." Well, you pointed it out, I think.
Another one there.
I go, "Oh, don't worry, we'll just get this one on film or whatever." And he go, "No, chuck that, throw it off the beach, catch this fucker." And so, "Are you sure?" And he goes, "Yeah, like fucking biltong, just fucking throw it on the beach." So we threw it on the beach, fucking made the cast, got to eat, but didn't land it. So then we grabbed the fish, took it down to the water, took a few more photos, and then off it went. No problem at all.
Yeah, right. They're like carp.
Live
for 3 days.
Yeah,
right.
But that was insane. Like, I still talk to Brent now, the guy. Like, I was a bit disappointed after that trip because I had so much good behind the scenes stuff filmed on my phone, which I dropped on the last day in the ocean. And
oh man, you'd have been so sad.
Man, I was, because I lost a lot of family shit. My granddad, a lot of stuff with my granddad the last few years of his life and stuff like that. Man, I was in hell.
Your neck would have been sore at the back because your head was that fucking hanging down that low.
I was in hell that day. But
then it made up for it when you got the
big yellow margin. Yeah. I wanted one fish that whole trip, and it was a yellow margin on the flats. Got it on the last day.
Always the way.
Yeah. But it was just a good experience just to hang out all together on the boat for a couple of weeks. You know, John, Alex, Benny, myself, the guides, because it wasn't a paid client trip. It was like an exploratory
mission.
Yeah,
they're the best.
Because it was the first time that this operation had a boat big enough to go that far south. So I was like, okay, we're going this far south. We don't want to have top dollar paying clients in case it's not great.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to come and make a movie? We were supposed to go with Captain Jack. He was supposed to be there, but. Yeah, fucking.
When we were down the south,
experience.
we've been told about the pirates and that. You go to the South Sudan borders. Apparently, if you step off the plane there, you basically get shot. It's a dangerous place. We're in North Sudan, so it's been settled there since August the year before that. But obviously, a lot of politics plays in and around that area. But apparently, down the South Sudan is a deadly place. And we sailed right down to South Sudan. You were going around these coral cays. And you'd be like walking this coral cay, and the next minute this little boat comes chugging around with like tree branches as a roof, like that. There's tree branches as a roof on these little pungas, they call them. And it'd come putting, and you're a long way offshore. Like we were hundreds of k's offshore.
Yeah.
And these guys putt from the mainland in these little pungas, and they come around and they got their turbans on their head, and they're looking at us, and they've been out at sea for 2 weeks, and you're thinking, are these guys going to get like an AK, whatever, like a semi-automatic gun and pull it out and start shooting, or what? They come and putt towards you, and they're probably just as fearful as you as what you are of them. And they just come past and they just put their hand up and give you one little wave, and then they keep putting past.
Yeah, right.
Oh. I had one of them when I was on, I think it was just me, Nicola and Alex.
Yeah.
And Nicola and Alex had taken off around
You're
on this
by
boat.
yourself,
I was
yeah.
by myself, yeah. So I'm on one side of the island. These guys are fucking gone. I cannot see them. And it's a long way to get around the corner. And I see this little panga coming around.
Yep.
And I like waved at them. Nothing. Thought, maybe they didn't see me. Keep walking. Waved again. They're staring at me. Nothing. I'm like, oh, fuck, this is weird now. Like, this is getting weird. Anyway, I keep walking, fish for a little bit, and then they go around the corner and just park up into this little bay as I'm walking towards it. And I'm thinking, oh, this is getting real crook now. This is a bit weird. I'm going to tell these blokes I've got coronavirus. Fucking don't come near me. You know what I mean? So they're in there. Anyway, they pull up. One of them jumps out. I'm looking at him, just wave. He just looks at me. Pulls his pants down, big shit on the beach.
Right in front of him.
Jumps back in his boat,
Gone.
waves, see you later.
That would have just rattled you. You'd been standing there going, what the fuck?
I was like, what did I just watch?
I wonder if they're doing their own podcast. This is in one day. I didn't even wave to this bloke, but I hung a shit right in front of him.
I thought I'll scare the fuck
This
out
white
of this
Aussie
dude.
guy over there.
He won't know what the fuck happened.
Oh, fuck, man. I was a little bit like, I was cautious at that point, but fucking hell, that was funny, man. Wouldn't wait to me the whole time until after he'd done a shit. See you, champ.
Cop that.
Fucking hell. But the guy that owns that operation, Nicola, it's Wild Sea Expeditions.
Yeah.
And he is, he's been travelling the world most of his adult life or young life. He is one of the funniest fucking dudes you'll ever meet in your life. And just to spend 10 days on a boat, drinking red wine, fucking listening to that bloke tell stories, him and Brent, the African guy.
Yeah.
Mate. I think, I did a podcast with Brent.
It's on there. Yeah. It's a good potty too.
Yeah, he's a
real
good
content.
dude, man. He's got a lot of fucking experiences, and
Yeah.
it was just a real pleasure to sit there and have a few beers and watch Benny get paralytic and listen to these blokes.
I don't do that.
Turn it up. You're actually the tamest out of all of us at the Nats.
I was behaving or something, mate. I was just there for fishing, though.
Lucky you did. Oh, fuck.
I was there for the fishing. Someone had to be. I think someone had to drive us up.
I was very tired.
Fucking
man.
hell.
That was a wild drive home that night.
From the south.
Yeah, from South Alligator.
Fuck me dead. That was a wild week. Well, how long was it? 2 week?
Oh, it
Fuck,
felt
was
like
it?
2 years.
Fuck it, man.
I thought it was only a couple of days, but it felt like 2 weeks.
It felt like 2 years trying to put a barrow on the boat the first 2 days.
Oh, man, that was hard work.
Fucking
That was
proper
a
hard
dead
work.
river
I
too.
got the job done.
Yeah, I definitely didn't.
Holy fuck.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. That was a good top water session though in the south.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was ridiculous.
Maybe they were like, wish they were fucking bigger.
Oh man, if they were like all 90s or 80s or 90s, it would have been insane.
That was
but-
2 days in a row over the same for fucking hours, ain't
Yeah.
Hours.
But the amount of top water hits you were hearing the whole lot.
Yeah.
You just sat there and everything was so quiet. You just heard,
Firecrackers
Yeah.
go off. Yeah.
That was
and
cool.
then the croc coming up right beside the boat.
Yeah.
I remember I was going, Mick, film this fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck.
I was fucking shitting myself, man.
You see now all those fucking things can jump? Just film the fucking thing.
Yeah. I'll film the cunt eating you in a minute.
I actually dug up a heap of that old footage.
Yeah.
I'm cleaning out all my hard drives. And I found that folder with all that shit on it.
I've got a little bit of good footage of
Yeah.
it, like blowing water out of its nose and shit right next to the boat, but yeah, I wasn't getting too close. Fuck
Those things
that.
are tame, mate.
Yeah. You hooked that fish, didn't
Yeah.
you? Didn't it eat you? It ate
It
your
ate the
fizzle.
popper. Yeah. I'm trying to bring it back as it's coming up. It just popped up. Remember, it popped up right where my lure was, and I'm trying to bring it right back quick, and it just grabbed hold of it.
Yeah.
And then it started doing death roll. End up pulling hooks on it. Ugh. Thank God for that.
Fucking hell.
It's a wild ecosystem up there, eh?
Yeah, I miss it, man.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd like live back there, but I miss fishing there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed what we just did. Again, like it kind of made me feel like those Cape trips back in like 2015, 16.
Yep.
Yeah, I love
More of
that
those,
shit, man.
Well, we've got to do. I always think to myself when I go on those trips, like I'm now 41, 42 next year. and like the whole time we're whinging about how sore our backs are.
Oh, man.
And people, if they don't go on those sort of trips, don't understand until they actually do it. Like you go and do 2 days on the outer reef, and you're doing throwing top water, and you're trying to jig doggies and that sort of stuff, and getting rubbed by sharks. Like your body is absolutely cooked after 2 days, and you're really pushing hard on 3. And the sun drains you. Like
and you don't get the best night's sleep, not the best nutrition either. Like it's fuck all water usually.
Blood sucked out of you by fucking bugs.
Getting
swollen feet.
Yeah. So you I'm just seeing myself now, like I'm 42 now, and I try and keep myself in reasonable shape and do all the fitness stuff and that's the reason why I do it, so that I go away on those trips, I'm not bleeding through the arse when I get back. But I know that there would come a time where I might reach 50, 55 or whatever, where I'm not able to do that anymore. So I'm all about just trying to compact it, or
many as you can.
Tomorrow I could fall over and have a heart attack. Who knows? So it's all about the experience for me now. It's it takes money and all that sort of stuff to do that, but for me, it's not about possessions or how I do live in a nice house and I've got a nice car and boat and that sort of stuff. But it's not about having nice stuff for me or staying in a real nice place. It's more about experiences in life now for me. For the next sort of, I don't know however long. It's just ripping into that as much as I can.
Your boy's getting old enough to be able to go soon. He won't be far off.
Yeah, he's not right into it, which again, we were talking about how hard parroting is. Like it's sort of hard to sort of get him. You really want to push him to go and do stuff that you like, but then you got to understand as well that they might like the shit that you do.
Yeah.
Or like for me, when I was his age, my obsession was fishing. Like it was still obsession then.
Yep.
I don't like the same shit as my dad.
Yeah.
I'm totally different.
Yeah. So
what's Jed like?
Jed fucking froths. He'll be doing this when he's older for sure.
Yeah.
Tully won't be.
Yep.
No chance. No.
Yeah, right.
I don't think. He might grow into it, but yeah. Tully's more like probably Marlon. He'll enjoy it a bit, but I don't think he'll push himself to go and do it. Whereas Jed, he's 13. He's saving money in a fucking bank account for a block of land in North Queensland.
Fucking
no
bastard.
joke.
That's a legendary.
Yeah. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's cool.
Big salty, like long hair.
Yeah.
He'll keep his man done. Salty dogs pulling around a skiff at fucking 45 years old.
100%.
Yeah.
He just idolises Flynn, man.
Yeah.
Idolises him. And I've known Flynn since he was Jed's age.
Yeah.
So, like, I would be stoked if Jed came up and, lived a similar life to what Flynn has. Like, as long as they enjoy themselves doing whatever they're doing, man, that's the main thing.
Yeah.
Always good people at the end of the day.
100%, yeah.
Good people. It's so I don't know. If Marlon doesn't do that, it's not the be all and end all. I'd love him to be able to go and do camping trips and that sort of stuff with me. But he's riding his mountain biking, which I've been trying to do take the mountain bikes with the boat so we can go and do the the mountain bike thing. I get on the mountain bike and then you start to get a little bit of confidence up and you come around a berm or something like that, and then you do a jump or something, then your tyre goes a bit sideways and you run into a tree and you bust your shoulder in half. And then you're like, wake up, fuckwit, you're 42-year-old and you got no idea what you're doing. You'll end up speared through a fucking tree in a minute.
Oh, fucking hell.
I think it's just like trying to you find what they like and just gaslight it, really. And then they'll change their mind next year.
Yeah.
But then just gaslight that again too and just give them every opportunity to do whatever they want to do. Yeah. I think the hardest thing about parenting these days is fucking, like, Jed's the only kid at his school, pretty much, that doesn't have a phone.
Yeah.
Marlon as well.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's a handful of them and that's it.
Yep.
Not
a bad
get out there
thing,
and live it. Oh, it's a fucking good thing, mate. Like, yeah, they're just different kids when they're not on that shit. Like, humans are different when you're not on that shit. Like, how much of a different person are you when you fuck off for a few days and turn it off? We did not care.
The whole, the 3 or 4 days I was away, I did not think about fucking COVID fucking bullshit the whole time I was out there. I was like, I got back to mainland and then the first thing you think of, you see something, you're like, fuck, that's right, we're living in this
fucking
COVID
people.
Shit.
Gotta go to work on that. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Back to the fucking doldrums. So it's sort of, I think you got to take yourself away from that environment every now and then just to fucking chill the pills and just fucking. I
think more often the better too, because like what I'm noticing in the kids with not being on that versus a lot of their friends is their friends are so highly influenced by what goes on, and they all have like Instagram accounts and TikTok and all this sort of bullshit, whereas the kids that are around our sort of kids group, they know who they are, and they got that natural curiosity to go and do whatever they're interested in and not be influenced by the masses.
Yeah.
And that's fucking important when you get older.
Yeah.
You can't be, you know, like, look at what's happening now. Like, you can't be influenced too much by the masses. You've got to be able to think for yourself and do what you want to do.
Yep.
You know, have the confidence to go and fucking pursue what you want to do in life.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to deal with as a parent at the moment. But I think what you were saying, Benny, like when we don't think about, you know, what society is, you get away and live on an island or fucking camp in the boat or just go fishing for a few hours, you switch off. That's real life.
Yeah.
When you're actually living in your home or going to work, that's not real life, really. Not. You know what I mean?
Not. It's a fucking means to an end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you're worrying about it. A lot of the times you're worrying about things out of control. That's where I try and take a step back from a lot of the time is sit back and think to myself, what am I worried about? Like I can't fucking control that situation. If you can't control it, what's the point in fucking worrying about it?
Yeah.
Like it's not... all your energy is fucking zapped up by something you've got no control.
I'm gonna start a burner account. Fucking ripping him.
One thing I'm trying to learn as I'm getting a little bit older is stop worrying about things that
you
not
can't
in your control. Like it's a real energy burner, and you end up getting obsessed with things that just. And then you don't make a decision about things. What was that saying you were saying the other day? Something about fucking not making a decision about it?
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, you're sort of sitting there thinking about something.
Instead of acting.
And instead of just acting one way or the other, you might fuck it up. That's what I mean. That's one thing I'm trying to teach my kids. It's like the best thing you can do is fail.
Yeah.
But learn.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fucking fail, but learn. Fucking try it. As long as you're having a dig, it doesn't matter. You know, it's all right. I don't mind if you fuck it up, totally. As long as you were trying at the end of the day.
I think the process from A to B is enjoyable too.
Fucking oath.
If you, I reckon.
100%. You look back on things, and that's why I always related back to footy because it was such a big part of my life. But I look back on things and think it was such a stress to me going
at the
in
time.
and Wayne Bennett telling me, you're not good enough, mate. And then Penrith, the coach, then telling me, you're not good enough. Fucking getting to 24 and not being able to make it and thinking, I'm not good enough. And then all of a sudden getting out in the field in your first grade going, fuck, I'm actually good enough.
Yeah.
I fucking knew it in the back of my mind the whole time. If I worked hard and kept fucking pushing myself, kept doing those extra sessions, that was the one thing I had probably over my brother who played Australian school, but he wouldn't go out and do the fucking extras. God rest his mate, he's fucking awesome. Don't worry about that, he's got so much talent. But he just didn't have that drive to go out and do those field sessions, that half an hour before training or that hour fucking in the morning to get up and go. And there was times when he actually did that and his footy went to another level. But the things you can control is being able to do that fucking hard work.
Yeah.
It's like anything, like even just with business with you guys, it's like, fuck, there's guys that want to do, you get messages all the time like, fucking, how do I fucking start up this or how do I start up that for the business? But they don't end up fucking doing anything about it, or they'll do a little bit of it and get worried about failure and then fucking stop doing it.
Yeah, or not risk a little bit of cash or a little bit of time or fucking risk some friendships or, you know, like all that stuff. Like, and it's not always who's best, it's who's left.
Yep, that's it.
It's true. Like, you got to apply yourself for a long time, and if something's not going the way you want it to go, you got to lean into that fucking thing.
That's
like,
and like
into
the
it.
Uncomfortableness. You have to make it comfortable. Like you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I reckon.
Definitely.
That's what
I
I
was
was
listening to that podcast you guys did last time about that and relate to that so much. That it's like getting out of your comfort zone and being comfortable is the fucking worst thing.
Fuck yes, it is.
Oh, it's so fucking terrible.
Yeah.
As soon as I get comfortable,
You're not happy.
oh man, it's
Yeah.
like all I want to do is be comfortable. Fuck being comfortable. It's the fucking worst thing for you.
And it's not real.
No, it's
you're
not
comfortable
real at all.
for a period, and then you're uncomfortable again anyway. So you might as well just be uncomfortable.
It's almost like you live 90% of your life in discomfort and struggle and grind to enjoy 10 seconds like a cold beer at the end of the day, and then it's gone.
Not that good anyway. It's like when we're going to the fishing spot, we're going to like the one we've been to. I'm starting to like get comfortable with that now.
Yeah, you need to go explore some more.
Yeah, I'm like, we didn't go to the spot we were originally going to go to because there's going to be storms and there's no shelter and all that sort of shit. So we went to the normal spot. And now I'm starting to think, fuck, sort of wish we had a fucking gone to the other
Push
spots.
Yeah.
We would have got fucking crashed and we probably would have died on it. But at least I was out of my fucking comfort zone doing it. Like,
Yeah.
I even say that now, like if we fucking die, like, I mean, it'd be fun.
Not
Don't
going
get
to
me
die
wrong.
wondering type thing.
Yeah, but at least I was doing something I enjoy.
Yeah.
Might have been out of my comfort zone doing it. I thought we might have died yesterday. It was pretty fucking wild. Eh?
It was wild, actually. Yeah, I was eerily calm about it.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was, but I just had full confidence. Oh, fucking honestly, we've got each other out of a fair bit of shit over the years. To be honest, like there's a big trust level there,
Yeah.
and I know what those boats are capable of as well. You know,
Yeah, true.
It was very good.
it was a little 17-footer, fucking
Yeah.
ate it up.
I know where you're comfortable though, because we weren't going with the follow-on seat.
Yeah, that's it. I could be in shit like that and be comfy, and then in a 3-foot following sea, I'm fucked.
Oh, fuck, you
Not even that.
You see him hanging on, It's
Yeah,
probably...
Like as you're riding in the waves,
You know when it gets a little bit veery?
hate it,
yeah,
eh?
it starts pulling you sideways. Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but every fucking time,
You can
mate.
see his eyes.
Every time.
He's really fucked up. He's like...
And I like get the concentration
his arse is
face on.
squeezing tight. Doesn't say much.
Remember we come over.
I go dead quiet.
Remember we
Dead quiet.
were with Reedy and we were coming back from the bay,
Yep,
like
yep,
here, it
yep.
blew up like, fucking,
Yep.
I don't know, 15 to 20s and it was just
Yep.
rank wind against
Oh,
tide.
that was gross.
And we come back in
That was
the
in my
following
boat, eh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
in this boat. And the whole time I was driving back and he's like, you know, this doesn't handle like your boat, eh?
yeah.
Follow-on seat.
Yeah, no trim tabs. That actually was probably the most comfortable following sea ride we've
Yeah.
had. That was fucking good.
Yeah, it was only about 5 metres fucking deep too.
Yeah.
But that's why it was standing up so rough.
Oh, it was crook. But yeah, it's like almost. Have you ever ridden a skateboard?
Oh, not well, no.
No. Oh, I was going to say it's kind of like weird. It feels weird. Like, what would be something relatable to you? Fucking, if you're used to doing something, like if you throw a ball,
Surfing?
right? Yeah. Say you like you
Like dropping
surf?
in on a wave or something? I have.
No. Like say you ride. Do you ride with your right foot at the back?
Yes.
And it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Right. Turn it around and put your left foot at the
Yeah,
back. That's
I know
what it
what you
feels
mean.
like for me in a following sea.
Yeah.
Crook. It's so weird, man. Fuck. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck.
fucking hell.
It is weird. Especially for how much time I've spent on the water.
Yeah.
Fucking crook.
Fucking hell. So what's next in your fishing?
I'll keep going north. I think keep venturing north and just finding new spots. I think I've just
More
been,
fly fishing.
more fly fishing. Fucking hell.
Because you can fly fish.
Yeah,
Cunts don't know that,
Yeah, I do a little
Fucking
bit of
hell,
fly
you
fishing
can.
here and there. It's like when I'm doing it, I actually enjoy it. When I just pick up the fly rod and just go and do it, and then I actually enjoy that sitting on the flats and waiting for. Probably the part that doesn't appeal to me so much is sitting on the flat for 3 hours and
Not
waiting
doing
for
anything.
That,
Yeah.
waiting for that one shot at a fish, and you may not find it. Like I probably like the physical
Like being
activity.
active,
Physical activity of actually going and banging fish, even if it's moving from spot to spot, but actually trying to chase a fish down and like honing in on something by chasing it. Whereas I think a flat is sort of, you're still chasing, but you're more sort of waiting for something to come in, and you're really hunting.
Yep.
I think it'd be the same for me if I was, I know I've been pig hunting before, and I love going with dogs and that, because you're out walking and you're like fucking constantly
Alert.
on the toe, and then the dog's flying off and you're physically fucking. I just like the physical part of it, and for me, while I'm fit and healthy, I think for me it's just trying to chase. I just love chasing real big fish. Like GTs really appeal to me because it's just they're a big fish and they pull hard and you've got to stop them. Doggies really appeal to me. Like I really want a topwater doggy, especially at home. I want to do that on my own boat or at least on my own trip.
Yep.
So that for me is scoping out areas where I can go and chase them and chase other big fish. Like I love that flats sort of blue hole fishing. So you get, for me, I get stuck on that too long sometimes. You go and look at a spot and you're like, that's going to fire, that's going to fire, that's going to fire, surely it's going to fire, surely it's going to fire, and you get 4 hours and deep into it, you're like, fuck, I should have went and done that instead of,
Yep.
So I think something planned in around that area, and I used to be like, just go and fucking get it done. Whereas now I'm sort of looking at moon phases a lot more. It's taken me a while to realise that the Great Barrier Reef is heavily weighted in the moon phases and the tide phases. It's a bit different at home, where it's more phased around ocean currents, which I sort of harp on about. They just turn up out of the blue. And the outer reef, I mean, outer reef is ocean currents as well, but if you're fishing on or around the edges of the reef, it's really fucking nailed around those moon phases.
Yeah, I think so.
It's good to have different options in all those zones, though, when you can jump on a weather window. Like, that's the good thing about being a well-rounded fisherman. Like, if we went to that zone again on the same tides and had clear skies, you could go and fucking knock your socks off for 4 days on the flats and target world-class trophy fish.
Yeah.
And then if you don't get the weather window and it's building tides, you can go and target, like, all within fucking 30 Ks of an island group that you choose, you know? Like, go and have a look around. Remember we were talking on the last podcast about what's untapped?
Yeah.
The entire fucking East Coast.
Yeah.
Go and have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. America next year too, hey? Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Probably not for me.
Was that secret? Is it?
No, it's just like, I'll have to go, I think, just because it's starting to really blow up for us. But obviously,
If I say I'll come, then you'll go, eh?
criteria, no. All the criteria around being able to travel internationally now is sort of like a mind fuck to me. Like, it's just, I really had to weigh up business versus my own personal opinion and ethics and shit like that, and it's really fucked around with my level of comfort with what I'm prepared to do to go there. So I just don't agree with a whole lot of shit that's been going on the last few years. So, in particular, the last couple of months, but I kind of have to sort of like weigh up risks versus reward sort of thing.
Everyone's got a gun to their head. Pretty
Exactly,
much.
mate. Yeah.
But they won't say that.
No.
Yeah. The hard thing for me to get my head around is during this whole COVID thing, our business hasn't received a single cent in assistance.
How's that
from the government?
That thing you shared the other day with 14 million or 4 billion or some shit for
mainstream media
companies, like a tax
exemptions. Yeah, crazy, mate. Like I mean, we busted our ass, did everything we possibly could. I went back to construction to help, get the family through it and stuff like that. Like, our business suffered, but not quite enough to qualify for anything. So we traded our way through it the entire way. So I could sort of understand it if we got propped up the whole time and then said, hey, you got to do this to be able to travel. Like, hey, I've got to fucking travel to keep my business going.
You can't have one long
arm.
arm.
And I don't agree with what you have to do it. So it's a real mind fuck, man. It's a bit of a downer. I don't try to.
I've had a fair few conversations about it with different people. They have different perspectives on stuff, and makes it wonder if there's like ulterior motives, which I assume there would be. There always is.
Yeah, but who knows? I just think it's a big money thing. I just think it's a big money thing, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, well, government's invested in mainstream media, aren't they?
Yeah, for sure. There's that. There's also, like, we'll talk about the political cycle, like every 3 or 4 years, that's all people seem to want to get to. There's no real long-term vision for the country or how to manage stuff like that, because they just want to keep their jobs, is the impression that I get. But that's a whole fucking, different kettle of fish. Yeah. I will have to go to America next year because it's fucking starting to blow up for us over there. Yeah, which has been amazing. Like, Ryan Hanks over there, he's a guy we met. Actually, he's taking it back to that Saudi Arabia trip we knocked back. This is the exact reason why. Like, we went to that trip to Florida instead of going and fishing in that tournament. We met Ryan, developed a relationship with him as well as a bunch of other guys. Now he owns a third of Cast in America. Yeah, we just registered our LLC over there after 12 months of trading over there. So now that's a totally independent business, same brand but different company. And now we're operating independently over there with a guy that's. Yeah, it is.
He seems
starting
like
to get busy too. He is, man. He's a really good fellow. I appreciate him in our lives, actually, because he fucking works just as hard as we do.
So now you're the youngest in the team.
I am, actually. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. Always have been.
Do you reckon you'll kick the 9 to 5 job eventually?
I don't think so. I'm just changing a few things around in my business right now, so that might free up a little bit of time. I think financial planning's been in my life for 12 years now, my business, and it's grown to be nice and successful. I help a lot of clients out. I think more being just a business owner and having more of a say in just the day-to-day running of the business rather than being hands on the tools will probably happen a bit more. It won't be. I'll have I'll still have to be on the tools, but it'll be more of sort of having an eye over the business.
Just a few key clients and
sort of a little bit more like that. That's what I pictured as building, but then the landscape with the financial planning side of things has changed a lot over the last few years.
You're heavily government influenced too, aren't you?
Government's got their meaty hands in everything, and they need to be. I suppose you're working with people's monies and their livelihoods, right? So it does need to be policed heavily, but by doing that as well, it obviously adds red tape. It's like any game you're in. If they add red tape, it adds a cost layer, and for the people that really need the advice, it makes it sort of unaffordable for them because more red tape, more time is money. So that's what's happening in that sort of business. So you sort of try and adapt and have the business so that it can still grow. Because if you're not growing, you're going backwards. But we're just changing a few structures in it to accommodate that and allow me to do some more fishing. And really sort of the more hands-on we can get with cast and really sort of blow things up. But like Mick said earlier on, it's a slow slog. It's something you just got to keep grinding and not give up at. There's a vision at the end of the day of what we want that to be. So you just got to keep grinding away, and you don't want to be sort of going to massive success overnight and then all of a sudden you crash the next day. The longer you're in it, the better.
I think that's one thing we've done pretty well actually, is being able to control the growth and the actual stepping stones. Like it's still a pretty big business. Like it holds full-time wages and in 2 countries we own half of Ocean Blend. Like it's still a significant business, but it's because it's a product-based business, you've got to continually churn the cash flow in through it. And it's based on that. But we've done a few good deals now in the last couple of years where we've been able to set the business up for long-term growth, So that's really the key for us. It's it's a business that it's fun to be part of. It really is.
That's what I'm finding with the stuff I'm doing is the media and the coffee is like, I enjoy like reinvesting into it and then putting energy into it, and I don't particularly know what's going to happen.
You watch it grow a little bit.
It's good, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's a good feeling, and I enjoy the whole.
It's not like work to you then.
No,
that's right.
I don't feel it doesn't feel like a job, and I want it. Like I'll sit in my computer all fucking night and edit sometimes, and don't even care.
There's a sense of satisfaction. Like that's what I used to get out of construction. Like I used to look at a set of plans as a young engineer and get the boys together and go through it, and it was fucking challenging. You'd open up a fucking like a 25-metre span bridge or whatever over a railway line, you'd be looking at it going, how the fuck are we going to do this? And then you'd spend 6 months getting through it and you'd work it and you'd fucking look at it at the end and go, fuck, how good's that? And then I just got to the point where I'd look at a set of plans like that and go, okay, yep, I know what to do. Comfortable. It is. That's exactly what it is.
It is.
So it's it's interesting, man. The whole business thing, like it's interesting what you're saying about COVID too, how you were talking about people. Everyone's got their own opinion. It's quite often, I think, everyone who's doing their own thing, like owns their own business and has a bit of fucking creative, critical thought, are all the ones that are thinking, what the fuck's going on here?
There's something fucking weird, man.
Yeah, man.
I don't try not to spend too much energy on it because it just fucking makes you upset, really.
It does, for sure.
You just sort of got to get
because you have a certain freedom as a business owner where you sort of control what you can control and you can have that creativity to influence the direction of what you're trying to do. It's different to having a job where you go to work and you get told what to do.
I don't think anyone's truly free anymore, but I think being a business owner is the closest possible way to make money and be free.
Yeah, it's a little bit of flexibility around how you're living, eh?
I think so.
Yeah, I live off way less now than I did in my construction career, but I'm 10 times happier. Yeah.
Yep.
It's interesting. I don't put any... I know you need to have money aside for retirement and all that sort of stuff, but I put less and less importance on that because I'm really enjoying my time. When I wasn't enjoying my time, I was like, fuck, I need as much money as possible for this shit. You know what I mean?
Money's
because that's the reward. You're like, oh, if I'm going to put myself through this shit, I'll better get rewarded. Whereas now I'm getting rewarded every day because I enjoy what I do. I'm surrounded by people who have changed my life, my fucking best friends. Perfect. How good.
Money's a byproduct of happiness, I reckon. That's why I'm sort of building that coffee
Eventually
stuff.
It would be.
If you want to make it that. I think that's what I'm doing with the coffee, why I sort of rebranded to this sort of stuff. The products that I'm doing. To try and give people a bit of a kick along.
Definitely.
So I'm building.
I think what you've done's good, man.
I think so. I've got a
Yeah.
pretty good feedback. We had a fucking real busy weekend.
It looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. It
Looks
launched
good.
Thursday, just gone.
Yeah.
And sort of
Those
done-
bags are fucking. I've never used those bags before.
Haven't you?
They're good, eh?
No, they're very cool.
Yeah. They're a little bit time consuming, but the fucking coffee's nice.
No, well, it's not even that really. You just go zip, clip
Pull.
it over the thing. I was saying to Mick, I was saying, I wonder if someone's got a patent on those little, like the little pull-out parts of the bag.
Maybe.
You know, like the pull-out. I was thinking, if someone's got a patent on that, they would be absolute multi. It's just little ideas like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
That
some
could
cunt-
make you a billionaire.
Yeah.
It's like the simplest little thing. You're like, that holds it on the cup.
Yeah.
Like it's like a 2-cent thing, but
Yeah.
you print that out to millions.
Yeah.
Now he's a millionaire.
Imagine being the bloke who invented bread tags.
Bread tags.
Bread bag tags.
Thongs, man.
Yeah.
Like pluggers.
Yeah.
So fucking weird.
Shit like that.
Crazy.
Fucking
Little,
oath.
fucking little.
But no, I'm enjoying that. It's we had a really big everyone got around it.
Yeah.
And we had heaps
Tastes
of
good,
orders.
man.
Yeah,
it's
I
beautiful.
Spent probably 8-10 months.
Well, I haven't had a bag of coffee for
Roasting.
a fucking long time, and I've
Fucking
been using
my
instant,
ass.
so I was like, fucking, this is really good.
Yeah.
I was actually enjoying sitting on the beach while it was
It
pissing
was
down
good,
rain,
eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
watching Mick lose blue bastards. Very satisfying.
Ah, fuck.
He's getting the piss up there.
No, I had a few on the travel home last night. It was pretty fucking. I went and got a 6-pack because I thought, I'm just going to celebrate this little trip and getting back alive after a fucking couple of storms. And I got a little 6-pack. And
You held the wheel all right going down
I
the
had
road.
a 6-pack, and then I fucking, and then I was just about to leave, and I went, no, what? Oh, I'm going to get a little sweetener to put on, so I got a 4-pack of Kraken and dry on top of that. So, and rifled
drove.
every one of them myself. Rifled them all in last night. Got the swag and was fucking a little bit slim dusty this morning.
Fucking hell.
Fucking hell.
Have we got any questions yet?
I don't know.
Check mine.
So, it is midday, and it is what is it? Tuesday today.
Yeah.
Starting to forget what fucking day it is. Where does it come through it?
Go to that story and then swipe up, I think.
Swipe up.
I think so.
Go to that swipe again, right?
Go to the story.
Oh
with-
yeah, the swipe
me?
up works as well. Where would the questions be? None there. I'm not that interesting, so
No, I don't know. They should
There's
be
some
there.
fuck
That's
with-
where they should be, eh?
I think so.
some fuckwit will want to have a go.
They'll all
There
oh,
they
yeah.
are. There they are.
Here we go. Pump
Pressing the
some out.
wrong button, mate.
Ah.
Sorry, mate.
There's 2 pages, you put in 2, so there's probably 2 lots of questions.
Where did your shoulders go?
And you
Yeah,
can
I
see
agree.
Still the best question I've got to date
Brown
is that,
state. So I've got. Sorry, you go.
no, you go.
I've got 5 questions off one bloke.
Do you want me to read? I'll read them to you.
Where did your shoulders go? Yeah, that's fucking hell. Why is your
Snake
head
shoulders.
Is it Terry?
Why is your head so rough? Why are you a muppet? So this bloke is a fuckwit. Dennis Scott Landscapes. Lush Landscapes. He used to play footy for Bulldogs. Fuck, he played in grand final too for the Bulldogs.
Oh,
I think
true.
it was when they got done for the salary cap. Do you wear a cap all the time because you have a cow lick double eye flick? I do. See, I got that cow lick there, and then I've got a crown on. Like I've shit. Hairdresser aged me 12 hard. When are you going to take me fishing? Well, fucking obviously never now. Fuck with me. Hope you listen to this, Dennis. Keen for Guthrie season, mate. Ha ha. Yeah, I'd love to, but I can't travel the border.
Let me read them to you.
Okay. You can probably go to the next one. Let's see. He's gone on to the next one, has he? Has he gone to the next one as well? What else?
This boundless. Is my ass still meant to be burning from your famous fish curry? I used to have fish curry.
Yeah, we did the old fish curry again, green curry. Yeah, well, mine was certainly burning that morning.
How did you get roped into doing this?
What's that?
Scale Extreme. How did you get roped into doing this? Podcast, maybe?
Oh, the podcast.
It's always, we're meant to be doing one.
Yeah, we're meant to be
We've still
doing
got
it for
an unpublished
years.
episode, technically.
Episode 1.
Where
The
was
3
that?
of us.
That was at your place.
house.
Oh, yeah, we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Gammon. Didn't know what.
Wade was a bit nervous.
I was scared. I was in
Bit
Benny's
intimidated.
presence.
He was a bit bigger then, though.
Never see, yeah, he lost a heap of weight.
Fuck.
True.
Yeah, true story.
Who would win in a fight out of you two? Me and you, or you and Mick?
I don't know. Who was he talking about?
I don't know. Nards _Leo. Who would win in a fight out of you two?
That's
Probably neither of us.
I'd probably win at the moment. Just give you a smell of your armpit. That'll be fun.
How was your Baron Nats experience? Fuck.
Oh,
that's banned from podcasts.
We can't talk
That
about
week's
that.
banned
That
from
was pretty
podcasts.
wild, that one.
Is there any others? Here we go. Oh, no, this is this bloke just going hard.
Is it Dennis Scott still going on?
Nah, that was on the same story. No, we got fuck all, really. Everyone just giving you cheek. The best question I've ever had was the one when we did the Q&A. How do you get those tiny ships in those little bottles? Or That's still the best question. I don't know who did that.
Oh,
Was it Shorey or
I'm not
someone?
sure who
I
it
can't
was.
remember.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's still the best question.
Yeah.
No one asked about your forehead or anything.
Didn't you get your nickname's Hellman, didn't it?
Helmet head, jughead,
Lego head.
Lego heads. Got them all.
You know, the hair that clips on.
The fuck that Lego head.
Actually, the funny story about that one was when I was back at the Broncos when I was 16 or 17. Lottie Takiri was in our team that year. And so he looked at me one day at training, and this was like when I was 16-year-old. Fuck's sake. So I've been called Helmet since then. And he's looked at me, and I'm looking at him, and he's looking at me weird, and he goes, "Fuck, you know what, Jonesy? If we painted a couple of stripes down, it looked like a couple of straps. You look like you got a helmet on." And it was from that day he called me fucking Helmet Head. And then one day we were at the airport, I think, in Perth, and we were getting the red-eye flight back. And we were sitting in the airport, and 19s are there, 17s are there, reserve grades there. We were all in the airport, and we were about the only people there waiting for this red-eye flight to get the flight back. And there was a pretty much empty airport besides all us footy players. And Dean Bensley, this other bloke, and Lottie snuck off, and they snuck into where you get the microphone to put it over the speaker to tell you your flight's ready to go. Ben Jones, come to the front for it. Ben Jones, we have located your forehead. And all the boys were fucking pissing themselves. Like, touche, you cunts. So, yeah, it turned into fucking...
Some mad shit happens on footy trips.
Oh, man. Turned into Helmet Head, and then Jughead, and fucking, what was the other one? Helmet Head, Jughead, fucking...
Snake shoulders.
Lego Head. And then there's Dirty Jonesy. And that story's not going to go on this podcast. There is shitting myself on that one. They reckon you haven't been drunk until you shit yourself. And I've definitely been drunk. Can you edit that out? That's right.
Possibly not.
Triggy and Jake heard that story when we camped with them. Oh, my
Triggy would have been in tears.
I never fucking laughed so hard in my life.
Was that when I had 3 drinks in me?
Yeah, he was drinking 3 different drinks and only got 2 hands.
And ginger beer. Fucking rifle.
You would have been slim dusty the next morning after.
Proper. Sitting there in a Cobra, 3 cans, 2 hands.
So run.
Turning them over. Fucking now. Might round it out on that note. Oh dear. Rocky tonight. Home tomorrow.
Try and get a bit further south, I reckon, if we can.
Yep.
Yeah, push through, but yeah. Always good to stop in. Good cup of coffee.
Always.
Actually,
Good plug.
That Tupperware office before you left. That was good for you too. What did you make us? Yeah.
Poke bowls.
Poke bowls on the way up. That was
Delicious.
very nice. Thank you very much.
Put it
Cold
away.
trout. Did put it away very quick. I had to put some weight on because I was paranoid.
Yeah. Well, that's why I filled it full of rice for you.
I looked at the mirror just before I got in the phone.
I'll make you a protein shake for you, Lee.
Oh, I can. Like I said, you obviously haven't been having them yourself. Anorexic these days. Yeah.
Fit.
Someone will roast me about that.
Fit.
Fucking sensitive cunts. Well, we're just starting to warm up. Let's fucking another hour.
Get the
few
beers
beers.
out. I got some there too. Fuck. You'll never get home.
Oh, shit.
Oh, dude. Righto.